So what kind of messages crystallized from this meeting?
Well, we did get some headlines about the Nord Stream gas pipeline from Russian President Vladimir Putin. But for the most part, this wasn't a game-changing meeting for markets. However, we were very carefully watching the potential for shifting political alliances here. And what was clear from this meeting was that Russia and Iran really see a deepening of their relationship as both kind of face these U.S. sanctions over various things. Russia talking about more investments in oil and gas in Iran, somewhere it hasn't been able to expand its economy given U.S. sanctions, while Iran expressing a lot of support for Russia's positions on Ukraine and its military operations there. You know, one of the big questions was also Turkey's position. President Erdogan really continued to try and walk this middle line between NATO and Russia over the war in Ukraine. We were expecting maybe some headlines about a grain corridor. Didn't get much news about that. But Turkey, again, in this difficult position, very important trade with Russia, continuing its trade with Russia at the same time. Russia and Iran not changing their tune on its desires in terms of military operations in Syria. So this is going to be something we're going to have to continue to watch evolve, Yusuf.
And then on the subject of ties between Russia and Turkey, we have some new economic data that, well, let's put it this way, may offer some insight on that as well.
Yeah. So sales of Turkish homes to foreigners, they have surged. And the rationale here is Russian buyers. They have really pushed into the Turkish market, particularly since the beginning of the war in Ukraine. So sales to foreigners were 80% higher in June than they were in the year before. This is actually, however, a pretty bad thing if you were a Turkish citizen, as you've been watching the value of your savings accounts in Turkish lira essentially evaporate, as we've seen a dramatic hyperinflation there. So there's actually compounding a cost of living crisis. And it's something the Turkish government is going to have to deal with, even though it would really welcome a lot of foreign investment. This obviously could have political implications for President Erdogan as he undertakes this campaign to try and win re-election. Election's going to be held sometime between now and next June, Yusuf.